God, that's so fast. I'm sorry, that was the last thing I expected. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lone University. I dipped my toes into the psychobilly genre last year here on the channel. I loved it, but when I asked you guys where I should be going next, I was pretty overwhelmed with requests for the band Nekromantix. Danish band Nekromantix. And after seeing one picture of this guy with a coffin upright bass, well, I knew I had to save it for the week of Halloween. And today, you are here. A defining trait of the psychobilly sound thus far has been these intense, aggressively tinged bass lines that are all played on an upright bass that gives a really different dimension and a different low end to the sound of rock and metal. When you pair those two together, I don't think I've really heard anything like it, and already I'm pretty addicted to the sound. But today we're hearing the track Haunted Cathouse, which is from the band's 5th studio album, Return of the Loving Dead, released in 2002, and maybe I'll just set the mood for the week. The Halloween week, how about that? Major 5 to the G. Major 5 back to G minor.
The stream of mummy's death
Nice.
things causes shiver and earthquakes. Out of their tombs comes
This is like a perfect Halloween soundtrack. All the sounds, the vocals, just everything about it.
The restless, headless horseman is looking for his smelling witch is eating coffin nails with a...
One thing I do like about this genre, and typically the way the songs are arranged, is that you don't get a lot of rhythmic variation in the bass part. It's very 1, 3, bum, 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 bum. It's really straight, square, holding it down. And you usually get a lot more of that rhythmic phrasing from, I'd say, the guitar parts, which can be said the opposite for a lot of the punk songs or other genres in rock I review, where the bass can be walking or doing some really funky rhythm, and the guitar is usually on the upbeats, like a ska song. So I like this adjustment where you're getting bump, 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 da da, bump, 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 against the bass, just going. Okay, let's dial in this upright tone really quick. Don't need the overdrive channel. And I've talked about this extensively in other videos, so I'll just kind of recap it really quickly. All you need to do is really go for the neck pickup sound. So a bass with a neck pickup, which is this. You want to kind of go to that. And if you look at anyone playing upright bass, they're not playing down here. They're not reaching their arm way down. They're playing over the fingerboard. So just moving your hand up about 12 inches will really get you in the sound immediately. So that's it alone is enough to kind of get it in the sound. Then you want to just kind of play with the mids and the treble to get that sort of wooden thwacky sound, which you'll never truly recreate with an electric bass. Maybe if you have flat wounds, maybe. But the point is to get that round, boom, that kind of nebulous attack. And what's cool about this as well is that the woody thwackiness that he's getting from the technique used to do that sort of slapping thing I've always been intrigued by is that trebly attack on the bass notes blends in and kind of beefs up the guitar parts. So anytime the guitar part is strumming with that cleaner sound, you're really hearing the pick scrape, it's blending in with that sort of bass thing, which, I don't have that down, but I love the way it sounds. I love the way it sounds when it's not too trebly. It's got this, again, really raw, woody sound. So I like the way that blends with some of the other, the ring of the snare wires. So just the whole mix is just a really interesting sound. That's, again, a very addicting listen for me. Okay.
A smelling witch is eating coffin nails with a bat. Upstairs, the Frenchie she delves.
Might add some presents. Pull the treble back.
Recommended for tormented bondage. I'll come back in that haunted cat house where everybody used to go. All pleasures were for free. I'll back in that haunted cat house. If only I could turn back time, that's where I would be.
If the bass walked that up as the guitar walked it down, I love the way it returns to the head here. Let me see.
That's where I will be.
Okay, I thought the bass was going. Guitar's going. So you create these little cool intervals. That could happen and coexist and sound good. I just assumed he walked it back up. Again, there's some little variations at the end of each phrase, but yeah.
If only I could turn back time, that's where I will
be. This falls right into the same thing I talk about as well. The catchiness of just a 3 or 4 note melody. That's sort of what's going on here. They're not, not going up real high, not going up real low. It's just this little melody in a box. And it perfectly complements the simplistic nature of the vocal melody as well. Just really good trade-off there melodically. Yeah.
Bloody Mary and King kissing while souls cry. Hand in hand, watching meteors and stars on the midnight sky.
Okay, the more I hear that, the guitar part is kind of doing a hemiola with the bass part. So you got sort of that 2 against 3 sound. Dun, ba, 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 da, da, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, bum, bum. And then the bass part's just hitting on 1 and 3, so you get this kind of doo-wop, doo-wop, doo-wop sort of thing. And it allows those vocals to have a bit more space since they often don't land on the same counts, but just a few accents. It's kind of catchy. It makes you just want to... There's a danceable quality to that rhythm.
Hand in hand, watching meteors and stars on the midnight sky. A ghastly crew of wicked men
hear these lyrics.
arrive in the Batmobile. Hang on, strong fly the UFO. Ooh, what a thrill! Back in that haunted Cathouse.
Haunted Cathouse.
Where all my friends are used to go. All pleasures were for free. Back in that
All my friends are used to something.
haunted Cathouse. If only I could turn back time, that's where I would be.
I love that chord. There it is. I'm trying to think how the best way I can recreate that sort of slap technique. I know I need more runway on the fretboard, the fingerboard, I should say, to do that. And I've watched some videos, but I always forget exactly the mechanics of it when I get to these videos. But if you really listen, it blends in. It almost sounds like another part of the drum kit in a way. It could be like a snare, like a rim shot. It just blends in so nicely. So it almost tricks your ear in just hearing that low end. But really, there's a lot of trebly character coming out of the part. Again, love it. Walked it up there.
Back in that haunted Cathouse, where all my friends are used to go, all the pleasures were for free. Back in that haunted Cathouse.
Fun to play.
If only I could turn back time, that's where I will be. Back in that haunted Cathouse. If only I could turn back time, that's where I would be.
Okay, I had a feeling the bass part would pick up and pace a little bit. It would go double time, if you will. We've been on the 1s and the 3s. Now we're adding more notes. It's kind of, when I'm playing along with the song, I just want to kind of push that forward a little bit. just add a little movement. I feel like he's starting to do it here, so it might wrap up with that. Where was that? It's going.
That's where I would be. Back
For the whammy.
in that
Whoa! Did not expect that. Holy shit. Whoa. Oh my God, that's so fast. I'm sorry, that was the last thing I expected. I was like, this is a great, spooky, good psychobilly song. I like what I'm hearing. Now I know they have this side of them. And waiting until another Halloween episode, but all their songs sound like Halloween themed songs. They're that horror type of thing. Okay. That bass was going 90 miles an hour. Kilometers for you on the metric system. Just hilarious to come back to this pace now. Okay, now that little bit kind of foreshadows it. Just that little bit of movement. Okay, I get it now. All right. Hang on for dear life.
Back in that
Holy shit. I can't find the one. It's just so chaotic. Now with that wah thing coming in, I definitely can't hear the one. You know, I make this observation pretty often lately, but anytime I hear songs, I'm always sort of thinking about how does this translate live? Like, how would it feel hearing this song for the first time if I was at the show? So a lot of these punk songs and ska songs, I'm always thinking about that extra layer of how the energy would be in the room. And I just can't imagine that this, well, I could imagine that this is just nuts. The way it, Fermata just being this slow, out-of-tempo free time, link into the end of the song or a bridge into another song section. They must really draw that out. I just kind of feel that intuitively. And it's almost like the way Paradise City by Guns N' Roses ends. Just everybody's going to 10. It's just such a huge takeoff point. And I just did not expect that. There was nothing in the song that told me that was going to happen. When you're going into an artist blind, you just don't know what sides of them they have in store. So the only thing I had to go off of foreshadowing-wise was just that bass going up a little bit. And I thought, okay, that's a huge energy shift in the bass line. So, whoa. Yeah, can't wait until next Halloween. I'm just going to have to do another Nekromantix episode on a random Tuesday, I suppose. Let me know what other cool bass stuff there is. I get the feeling that now that I've heard how fast this guy can play, I bet there's some cool stuff in their discography. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Please stick around this week here on the channel. It's a special 4-episode week with Halloween themed songs all the way through the 31st. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please come find us over on Patreon, patreon.com/LoneUniversity. It is by far the best way to support the channel. We do full albums every month. They're voted on. We have an amazing community. and bass lessons, music theory lessons. Just again, everything I've ever done is pretty much on video over there. And if you enjoyed this video, if you like Halloween, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. I love you all. We'll see you tomorrow.